I want to ask you, what was your immediate emotional response when you saw the title of this video or you're looking at the words "Decline of Christianity"? What is the immediate emotion that was sparked in your brain? For many, it's fear. Fear of living in a godless world frightens the hell out of many people. And I believe it's that fear that promotes so many articles and stats and videos and opinions on the subject, mainly opinions regarding the causes of the decline of Christianity. But it's the fear that is being used in hopes of getting likes or comments or subscribers or views or reads, whatever. I was just watching a video the other day on a book review, and the show had the author on describing his book, and where he said that he believes that Christianity overall in the country will be a very small minority within 30 to 40 years. Then the author went on to say what horrible and terrible things are going to happen to us as a people in the country when Christianity becomes the small minority. But I giggled because the host fired back with a very valid point, of which the author could not dig himself back out of. The host of the show said, well, what do you say to those people who believe that religion is the cause of all chaos, wars, oppression, and greed in the world? That was a classic example of someone trying to sell a doomsday book based on the emotion of fear. So I want to provide my honest opinions on what I believe is the decline of Christianity after everything that I have researched without the emotion of fear or what's going to happen with us in the future should this trajectory of decline continue to either a minority or extinction. All we're going to discuss is the causes and what is going on out there. I'm going to be going over two different groups, the Catholics and the evangelicals. If you don't know what an evangelical is, it's a very large portion of the Protestant side of Christianity. They're the born-agains, those who had a conversion to this born-again theology in Protestantism. So, let me ask you, what do you think is the prime cause of the decline of Christianity in America today? I'll let you think about it, but whatever you come up with, it's probably right and true because it's not just one factor, it's a number of factors that are coming into play. But there is one prime cause that is undeniable, and that is politics. As the country becomes more divisive, so does it splinter Christianity. The irony is that as the conservative right continues to align itself with Christian beliefs or what it believes are Christian beliefs, that's actually pushing attendance down, disenfranchising many away from the churches. Let me give you a case in point. My church here in Florida, obviously a Catholic church, but in the weeks prior to the election, they put out signs on the abortion ban saying, vote yes on Amendment 4. Now, I understand that the church is trying to do the morally correct thing or what they believe is the morally correct thing. However, as far as vitality and longevity of the church attendance is concerned, I'm not so sure that was the smartest thing to do. As it turned out, the Floridians voted no on that at a 57% majority. What that tells you is that 57% of my church's parishioners did not agree with the church's standing or them putting out the signs saying, vote yes. Now, you could certainly have the argument of, should the church stay silent? And I don't have an answer for that. I believe they were doing what they thought was morally correct. But as far as church attendance, that is not the way to stay in business. On the Protestant side, they have a much larger problem with this, as their churches align with Donald Trump, and so many of their sermons that I've watched online have become political speeches for Trump and the issues with the left or with the trans or the LGBTQ or the immigrants. It's a much larger problem. I was on a video a week, 2 weeks ago, whatever, it doesn't matter, where I was watching the evangelical church, pastor give a abortion speech where he called for war, civil war. Now, wherever you stand on Trump or whatever, it doesn't really matter to me, but that... Though there's going to be some people in that congregation who do not agree with your stance that we should go shoot our neighbor because of abortion. Here's what church leaders have to come to grips with on both sides, Protestant and Catholic. It doesn't really matter, but try to come to grips with this idea. In the last election, Americans overwhelmingly voted for conservative Republican Donald Trump, as well as with Senate. And all the statisticians say that the country has moved more from the middle, but slightly to the right. Okay? So now, if you're a church leader, try to explain to yourself, why has church attendance dropped dramatically? Let me give you an example for those of you who are still listening. There's a video on YouTube, and it's called Evangelicals in Freefall. I think it was put up like a year ago. I'm not going to put it in my links. Look it up. More importantly, look at the comments. Read the comments. There's like over 1,000. And look at how many likes those comments are getting. And that'll tell you a little bit of what's going on. It's not all political. I'm not saying that. But it's going to tell you a lot of what's going on as far as the evangelical churches are concerned. If you go to Audible, I'm a big advocate of Audible books, do a search for evangelical and see what comes up first. And you're going to find a lot of books are written by evangelicals telling you what's wrong with the evangelical church. I'm talking, there's a book called The Kingdom, the Power, and the Glory. There's another one called, that one describes evangelicals, churches in the political realm, exactly what I'm describing. There's another one that came up, New York bestseller, called Ex-Evangelicals or Ex-Vangelicals. That's a bestseller. There's another one called Jesus and John Wayne that describes the masculinity and the commercialism that has sucked the evangelical movement into material objects. I read a little bit about that. So look at that. Those are very telling books and views as far as the evangelical churches are concerned. For the Catholics, if you do some searches, what you'll find is many believe that the reason for the decline is that the Catholic Church is not conservative enough and perhaps should go back to even the Latin masses. They believe that Protestantism has watered down the sacredness of the Catholic Mass. And the second belief is that the Catholic Church has done a poor job informing its parishioners about why you believe what you believe. Therefore, those parishioners are susceptible to conversion to other forms of Christianity. Maybe that's true. However, the numbers don't really suggest that. because the Protestants are losing attendance just as much as the Catholics. I think it may be a denial of what the real cause is. Let me end on a good note for you. Last night, I attended the Pentatonix Christmas concert here in Tampa. It was a sold-out show, 21,000 people. And I was thinking about this research as far as the decline of Christianity. And I got to tell you, I have a hard time believing that piety, the belief in God, is down after hearing 21,000 people sing in unison, "Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King."